Midweek Analysis.
Hey guys, this is a midweek analysis for March 10th of 2021. Okay, we'll start off with the Usdjpy pair. This is a monthly chart. We'll start off with a brief overview. Okay, we're ultimately targeting this pivot low at 101. But before that, we were talking about the pullback to 109, and that target has been hit. Okay, so from this point on, we're looking for a short entry right back down to 101. However, due to recent price action being very strong long, in the short term, we are long biased. However, in the long term, we are short biased, right back down to this pivot low. Okay, so let's talk midweek price. Okay, so this is a weekly chart. Okay, so we were long biased with the first target being at these gap levels at 105, then our second target at 107, and finally hit our last target at 109. Okay, from this point on, there is momentum long in the short term. However, being that the overall bias is still short right back down to 101, I'll be only looking for short trades. Okay? Now some levels to look for. We'll go back to the monthly chart. Is this trend line right here. So from this pivot to this pivot. Okay, so price is testing that trend line at this moment. I want to see price respect this with compact price action. And this compact price action can be on the weekly or the daily or even the 4-hour chart. It just has to be on this monthly trend line level. Okay? And simultaneously, let's go on to the 4-hour chart. We want price to begin to round out. Okay? We do not want any sudden moves down. We want it to round out. Okay? All right, so let me take you to the daily chart. Okay, so on the daily chart yesterday, there was a short trade that formed. That is relatively strong. However, due to the momentum on the short term still being strong long, I'm still going to be waiting for that monthly chart to begin having that compact price action on this trend line. Okay, that trend line being here to here. Okay, so let's go on to the Nzdusd. And please subscribe if you like these videos. And please press the like button. It really helped me out, guys. Thank you. Okay, the Nzdusd. This is a weekly chart. We'll start off with a brief overview. So starting from this range right here, this entire move up was based solely on momentum. Thus, in the long term, I'm short biased, right back down to the target of this pivot low. However, this double top right here, to me, is a fake. Thus, in the short term, I'm long biased right up to this pivot higher up here. So, long term, I'm short biased. Short term, I'm long biased. Okay, so let's talk midweek price. Okay, so this is the daily chart. In the medium term, again, we're targeting this pivot high, right? So we're looking for long trades. Okay, now if you recall, we were talking about these trend lines right here. This pivot to this pivot, and this pivot to this pivot. We wanted to see if price would start respecting this with compact price action. Then perhaps we could get a long trade right up to that pivot high. Okay. However, I also mentioned that due to this setup, there is a possibility that price could just go up and hit that target right away without making this compact price action. Okay. Now let me take you down to the 4-hour chart to show you what's happening. Okay. So on Monday, we had this long trade form. Now at this point, this long trade stop loss is still intact. However, there's a very strong monthly gap right at this level, and it's having some trouble getting through it. Okay, so what we want to see, if price were to just jet up and go straight to that target, is for price to gradually get through it like this, little by little. Now this could be on the 15 or 1 hour chart also. Okay, so we'll just have to see. Either way, we're long bias in the medium term right up to this target. Okay, and let me just show you that monthly gap level we're talking about. Okay, so go back to the monthly chart. Okay, we'll zoom up. Okay, that would be this gap right here. From this candle to right here. On the 4 hour chart, it's having trouble getting through there. Okay, so on the 4 hour chart, we want it to gradually get through there like that. Right up to this pivot high target. Okay, let's go on to the Euro-USD pair. When I just put out lesson 9 of my price action trading course, it's on how to find legitimate double top and bottom patterns. So if you have time, please check that out. Okay, the Euro-USD, this is a monthly chart. We'll start off with a brief overview. Okay, so on the medium term, because of this trend line from this pivot to this pivot, and this breakout roughly 7 months ago, in the medium term, we're long biased, at least to this pivot high right here. However, in the long term, because of this price action right here, we're short biased, right back down to this pivot low right here. Okay, so let's talk midweek price. Okay, this is a weekly chart. Okay, so if you recall, last week we were short biased into at least this pivot low. Okay, now let me explain to you why really quick. Okay, so this short trade was strong in comparison to this long trade. And so as price pulled back, we were looking for short entries right back down to this pivot low. And that target was already hit. Now essentially what we're looking for at this point is the same type of setup. Okay, so let me just show you. So hypothetically, if a long trade forms here, and if this long trade is weaker than this short trade, well then we'll still be short biased right back down to that new target low right here. On the other hand, let me erase this. If a long trade sets up here and it's stronger than this short trade, well then that's in line with the medium term trend and will be long into at least this target right here at this pivot high. Okay, now for the time being, one possible place that price can form that long setup is this trend line. So still, we're on the weekly chart from this pivot to this pivot right here. This can be a level that strong long trade can form. Okay, but for the time being, price is still trying to get through these gap levels right here. Okay, right here, right between these gaps right here. Okay, so if price gets through this gap, then we could start looking at possibly that bounce at this trend line right here. Okay, so we'll just have to see. That long trade didn't form yet, so. Okay, so I think that's it for the midweek analysis. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and thanks for watching, guys. Okay, bye.